This video deals with Anthony Lynn. Obviously, he got off to a really good start in his time as a head coach with the Chargers, going 12-4 and then 9-7, and then obviously a great drop off to 7-9 and 5-11, and of course being fired. And I hope he gets a second chance. I think he's someone who has probably learned some things from what's happened, but more importantly, where next? Now, obviously, he could end up at the collegiate level, though he doesn't really have much of a collegiate coaching background. He was himself a standout running back at Texas Tech, who unfortunately had a fairly severe knee injury about halfway through his senior year. I'm one of the few people probably you'll ever talk to who has scouting notes on Anthony Lynn, sort of like a faster Bam Morris, or if you want a more recent running back, a slower Latavius Murray, if that helps. He was a big back. He also did manage as an undrafted free agent because of the knee injury to hang around the league as a running back for about 7 years, and also was a really good special teams player, and he's coached special teams as well as coaching running backs, and briefly was an interim offensive coordinator and interim offensive head coach with the Bills. So where to next? Well, I'm going to start with the obvious teams that really struggled in the run game. Of course, that'd be the Falcons, Tampa Bay, Jacksonville Jaguars, the Steelers as well, and the Lions. All were teams that did not run the ball well. The Texans also. Well, let's say not well. I should leave the Jacksonville Jaguars not completely out of that. They actually ran the ball well in terms of 4.5 yards per attempt, but they ended up being one of the teams that was below 100 yards per game in rushing. And I could think he could be essentially a run game coordinator for a team. I'd love to see him in the Steelers. I really think the Steelers, who were at the bottom in not only yards per game, worst, but they were terrible in terms of yards per attempt at 3.6. The second worst was the Falcons, who had 3.7 yards per attempt, and those are terrible numbers. There's no other way to sugarcoat it. I really think Anthony Lynn, who, in addition to being a guy who's known as sort of a leader of men and a good guy and things like that, but he really understands the run game, and he understands how to coach running backs. If you look at where he's been before, the running backs have almost always improved. I think he has a good understanding of how to coach offense as a whole. Even though he's only been an offensive coordinator in an interim role, I think he could definitely be a run game coordinator. So these are some of the places where I think Anthony Lynn could land, and I think eventually he'll be back and better as a head coach. Once again, there's a comment section for you to comment, so let me know if you think I'm right, wrong, flat out insane, whatever. Thank you.